Hello everyone, welcome to Ultimate Diecast. My name's Tyrone, and we've got ourselves an obscure brand episode. You cheeky little Moscovich. This is a Russian one. Never heard of it before. I'm not familiar with the shape of this car. I'm not familiar with anything to do with it. It's a real... 143 really. Don't know. Can we trust anything the Russians say? There's some Russian for you. Collect the set. Let's have a look. It's very curious. This is the first time I've opened this box. I like to do things on camera. It's I thought the whole thing was going to slide out with that, but there's another stage. The risk of doing things for the first time on camera, isn't it, that there are some stuff-ups. But you'll forgive the stuff-ups for the adventure that goes along with seeing things for the first time along with your faithful host. Oh, very Russian. I've been to Russia. Holy Whoa! I thought that was broken. I've been to Russia before. I'm sure I've told you. I like to tell you. I like to tell everybody. Ooh, it's a weird looking engine. Yeah, I did a around the welder in 2011 and took in Moscow, St. Petersburg, London. Did we go to Paris? No, we didn't go to Paris on that one. Helsinki, New York, and all through the States actually. It was a very busy 7 weeks. Loving the suspension. Those very rough and ready Russian roads. That bonnet's freaking me out a little bit. This appears to be a taxi. Can't. Hey, look at that! Made in USSR. Metal. Did I show you the back? No. Wow. That'll be the Lada, wouldn't it? Wow. Curiouser and curiouser. Oh man. Keep your hand away from the bonnet, mate. Nice clear windows. Can't call them glass, can you? Can you see? I'm sure you can. Wow. It's a nice ride. I like it. And the other one I know zero about is Mini Mod. Who knew? Excuse me, I'll roll it over in my hand to see you, make sure you get a good look. Collect the set. Old timer. Huh. This one's a Fiat from 1911. I'll pop it open. I won't launch these boxes over my shoulder like I am known to do. Oh, what a reputation to get. Strange things. I've seen them in period dramas and movies with those things to, I suppose it's to hold the roof on. Who knows? This really was where coach building met car building, made in Western Germany. How about that? So pre-90 obviously, before reunification. That's great. A little bit of history, isn't it? And it's a roller. I wouldn't put it on the orange track, but it's a roller. No, I won't start pulling things to pieces. I've actually done a really good job of that. If you're into your cars of yesteryear. So that's Mini Mod. I think we should set the boxes up as I caved in the little window with my clumsy thumb. Sometimes I think my hands aren't actually mine. You know that game you did when you were a kid, when someone stands behind you with their arms around you to pretend they're your arms. Solido isn't an obscure brand, but this is an obscure car or model to me. This is the Prestige model range, ranging from 25 to 40. I didn't pay $14 for this. I paid nothing, but the catch is it has to go back to where it came from. There's the set freeze frame, if you can read anything there. Let's open it. Very gingerly. I like to return borrowed things in the condition they were lent to me in. Nice to see the box to these. You normally don't. That's brown. What do we have? Delage D8 120 from 1939. Coupe de Ville. That's nice. Can we get it out? The owner isn't here and I didn't get any advice, so I haven't been told not to do anything. Imagine sitting in there if you're the owner of this car and the driver bombing along. I'm sure it happened. They didn't make this thing for nothing, you know. That'd be a strange experience, wouldn't it? Be something to get used to. Like your own, I suppose it'd be like a private jet these days, having a private car. 1939, as the world turned to not a very nice place. Now, the next four I have to show you, your lucky thing, should be on these little stands, these little plinths, but I think they're much nicer loose. Here's the first. You didn't wind down the window. You pushed it forward. Or is there a oh yeah, no. It's some kind of strange sun visor thing. I'm not sure what that's about. Doesn't this grey remind you of something? You know, they're painting everything, every car on the road these days seems to be this colour, or mimicking it, that strange undercoat grey. It actually looks good on this thing. Not so much the newbies, but this is an old Renault. So they did it right, didn't they? I have a very fascinating story to tell you about this. Again, not an obscure brand, but certainly an obscure car in these parts. I had one in real life. I'll tell you what unfortunate business I had in it. Right after we ripped through these, this is a Cadillac from Solido. All these were purchased by the original, or the current owner actually, in 1989. So I'd better be bloomin' careful with it. Lovely two-tone green on the caddy. There's the base. Solido V16. You're joking. Imagine servicing it. Imagine running it. Here's another old Renault. The front of this is peculiar. It reminds me of, not for looks, but the concept of the whole thing. The new Pajero, what is that? It's the Ute. Can't remember. Triton? No, it's Mitsubishi, isn't it? Not Pajero. Mitsubishi. It's the Ute. It's the one with the dog ugly front. Every time I see one, I say to my wife, gee, they screwed that up. I hope you don't drive one, but they're dog ugly. Same as this, but in its own way. Renault 40 CV from 1926. Really fronty and heavy, but it's all that bonnet work, isn't it? All that bonnet space. And the last one before I get to the zany story of my little Alphasud is this one. Really caught my eye. The where are we? Citroën 15 CV from 1938. But you probably knew that already. I had to read it because Tyrone forgets. Window halfway down. Must be a warm day in Paris. opens up. Lovely little thing. I did a, something, don't know, something will need explaining after I give them back. I was looking for a Citroen, one of these in Matchbox, 1/64 scale obviously, and I thought I had the two examples that Matchbox put out, and then I found a third with red interior, so the search continues for as many as I can find. Obviously, before I do that, that's on my other channel, Building the Ultimate Matchbox Car Collection, which you should definitely go and check out once you're done here. Now, story time. I'll get the randoms out of the way. This fella, Alpha Sud. It's an Alfa Romeo, obviously, but Alpha Sud, you probably don't pronounce it that way, but I do, is the branch of Alfa Romeo car making company, and that means south. So I opened up a branch in the south of Italy and knocked these things out, hence the name Alpha Sud. Sud. But I had a green one of these. I went back to New Zealand for a few years in the early 90s, and this looks to be a slightly later model looking at that front end. But I had a 76, very, very similar to this, in a awful green, matte green, called it the Frog. But one Waitangi Day, which is the treaty day for New Zealand, long story, but it's February 6. One Waitangi Day, try saying that twice. I had visited my brother on the other side of Christchurch, and I was coming home. It was raining. It was February. Always rains in February in New Zealand. And the front passenger side wheel caved in. It's only going about 20 odd k's an hour. I just pulled away from a T-junction, and I got out, and sure as buggery, the front wheel had caved up underneath that wheel arch there. So I got the jack out, because I'm not a mechanic, and hoisted the weight of the car off the snapped bit and shoved it back in, because it seemed to have just popped out. It's kind of rusted and broken, but these things ran on rusted and broken bits. And I drove it home, and then it caved in the driveway again, and there it sat until I could afford a tow truck to take it to a repair man. The repairman had a Alfa Romeo wrecker, or wrecker's yard, and he said, "Yeah, I got a spare one of those, but you want to get rid of this thing because that piece goes on these quite often. Do you want me to show you one that came in last year?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" And there was a red one, different model, fancier model. But he said the driver of this one had that same piece fail on him, but he was doing 120 clicks an hour, and he rolled it 3 times and hit a lamppost. And there wasn't a lot left of that car. Design fault on these. There's a strut. Feels like I'm giving you advice never to buy this car. There's a strut thing that sort of a stabilizer for each wheel. And they built it flat. The metal is flat, so it actually holds rain rather than letting the rain drip off harmlessly. But as the rain sits on a wet day, you've parked it up, and there it sits and rusts out that metal piece, and eventually it snaps. Fun times. It wasn't the first time I almost came a gutser in my car, and eventually I took a corner way too fast, powered out of the corner way too soon, and blew up the engine. Fun times. Great little car though. So I've bought this piece off the owner of all of these, and I'll keep it to remind me of my many near-death experiences in my 76 Alpha Sud. I hope you enjoyed this very random, very long-winded video. I didn't even get to all of it, but there is still stuff to show you. But I've kept you for 15 minutes now. Go off and have some fun. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.